So, just over a year ago, I posted a Looksmaxxing video that gained nearly 60 million views, almost the same size as the entire United Kingdom. 60 million people saw the before and after, but they didn't see how and why I was able to pull off that transformation. So, in today's video, I'm going to explain the story behind the transformation and how you can create a similar one too. So, where it all began, the origins. Now, with myself, I started off at 6'3" at 55 kilos in height. So you can imagine being that tall, I was very skinny for my height. So naturally, because of my physique and everything else, I was very unconfident. Now, a lot of guys online will say they're unconfident when they're younger. And for me, I truly was. And you can see from this photo right here, this was with my mum. And you can see how unconfident I was, how insecure I was, even around my family members. And very similar even with my father, right here. I couldn't even embrace the love from him because I was so insecure within myself, within my body. And from that starting base of being very skinny, very unconfident, I also developed a lot of bad habits. So even with the Xbox, I'll be playing practically 2, 3, 4 hours a day at times. And you can see from this team right here, I had like team of the season Ronaldo, had legends, had icons. So to get that level of team, you don't just get that from playing a little bit here, playing a little bit there. I was on the Xbox quite a lot. I didn't really have any goals at all, any ambition at all. And as well as that, I was drinking, partying on the weekends pretty regularly too. So I wasn't adopting the best of habits. And in terms of the nutrition, this was very messy too, because I was working at Papa John's and they essentially gave me free pizza, junk food, fried food. So my diet was shocking and I was eating lots of processed food, but I still managed to keep pretty slim because I was playing sports like 5-6 times a week, but I wasn't healthy at all. So that's essentially where I started off. But you're probably thinking, what was a big turning point? And for me, it happened with the gym. So just before 2020, I started lifting with some friends, and originally it was a bit of a joke, to be honest. There's even like videos here where I'm taking the mick out of like fitness influencers and fitness guys, and then I became one, so it's pretty crazy. But it all just started off as a joke. I just went because I was bored with friends, I had a bit of spare time, and then after transitioning out of this phase, 2020 then happened. And around the time of 2020, I was like 17, 18, and it's at this age where you start becoming a lot more conscious of yourself, right? You start comparing yourself to others, girls start coming into place, and you start looking in the mirror more. So I became really uncomfortable with my physique, with myself, and that's what led me to change effectively. And with 2020, I had loads of time on my hand, so I started working out in the garden with bricks, bags, chairs, practically anything I could find. And I didn't really see that much progress to start with, but then after a few months, I got the first little bit of progress. I noticed that my arms were getting slightly bigger, and from seeing this visual little bit of progress, it really inspired me and pushed me further to really go after this and really lock in with this habit essentially. And although with my progress, my biceps, my arms had only grown a little bit, this was a huge lesson because it taught me the importance of delayed gratification, putting in the work without seeing the reward, but trusting the process. It also taught me about better habits. It taught me about discipline. It taught me so many different things. So this is where my self-improvement journey started. And the gym really had such a huge knock-on effect in so many different areas of my life. So I started to cut out drinking, cut out alcohol, cut out negative environments and distractions due to fitness essentially. I also got a job at a testing site. So this was 12-hour shifts, like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So it's pretty back to back. However, from starting the gym, from starting to work out, this is why I had the discipline to get a job and to really start pushing in different areas. So fitness is honestly so underrated. It's like a gateway drug, but for something positive. And from seeing that bit of discipline start to fall, it gave me a lot more confidence. because I had visual proof in the mirror now that I'm the type of guy who turns up, who puts in the work, who can pull off a transformation, pull off progress from doing the things that are hard, that are difficult. So by having that visual progress and that visual reference, this gave me the confidence to start posting online, to start my content, and to start so many different opportunities and endeavors. Outside of the training and the fitness, I started becoming hooked on self-improvement. I started thinking, wow, if I can feel this good, look this good from dedicating some time to improve, why don't I do that with other things like, my face, my teeth, my clothing, my style? So I started to look into this, and the next step was braces. So my teeth were completely cooked. So they're very wonky, they're a bit all over the place. So I decided to get braces, and I had these on for about 2 years. Luckily, I managed to get mine through the NHS, so it was free. However, there's loads of companies out there, and you can even get Invisalign braces. So these are braces which are invisible, so they can mold your teeth, but you don't have that sort of metal all over your face. Now, coming on to the haircuts. I've had a lot of very bad haircuts in the past, but this is all part of the journey, because you really do need to experiment and trial out different styles and different haircuts, because then you'll know which is the best for you. And how I came to the conclusion of the final haircut was essentially from looking online. So I looked at celebrities, footballers, very stylish people who had similar skin complexion and similar style of hair. And I took some inspiration from guys like Michael B. Jordan, Raheem Sterling, Wilfred Zaha, and just added my own little twist to it. It took me about 2 years to properly grow out my afro so then I could make it into dreadlocks, the bulking phase. So, as a skinny guy, my main objective was to gain weight, gain muscle as quick as possible. However, I didn't want to do a dirty bulk, bloat out and have no real definition. I still wanted to be lean and muscular, so I decided to go for a lean bulk. And this is where you eat at around 200 to 400 calorie surplus, and then you're able to gradually gain weight, gradually build muscle while still having quite a lean physique. And this is exactly what happened. So I was gaining weight, but still muscular and still quite lean. And I had lots of calorie dense meals that were still healthy. So things like spaghetti bolognese with cheese, with peas for 1,000 calories, chicken thighs, rice, veg for another 800, 900 calories, bulking shakes, and more. By gaining weight and gaining size, this helped me to look a lot more masculine. I felt a lot better within myself. When you look good, you do feel good. And my energy levels were much better. I was a lot happier, a lot more confident too. So this was an amazing choice. Coming on to the style and the fashion. So I wouldn't say I'm, a Vogue model or like a fashion icon or anything like that. However, my fashion and my style has definitely improved a lot, because I used to always look quite scruffy, wear a lot of joggers and just not the best of clothes, to be honest. Whereas now I've made a conscious effort to actually look after myself and look better. When you dress well, not only do you look better, but you actually feel better. And you also have way more opportunities, because if you're meeting someone for the first time and you're looking sharp, you're looking on it, you're looking clean, people are going to have a good first impression of you. And a lot of people say, don't judge a book by its cover. However, a lot of people do, especially in business, especially with relationships with girls and everything else. First impressions are really important, so always try and look fairly sharp. Of course, you don't need to be dressing up in like a suit and tie 24/7. So what I like to do is find a good in between. So smart enough where I can still go to dinner in that outfit, but not too smart where I could be turning up for a job interview. Again, this is going to be something that you'll have to do a lot of trial and error to figure out your style. And for me, I had like a hype beast phase. So I was wearing lots of brands, lots of logos, big flashy things. However, it didn't really suit me. Whereas now I keep it very simple and I actually prefer it a lot. For my shirts, I'll wear quarter zippers and polos. These are smart, however it's not too smart and it's still comfortable. And then for the trousers, I'll wear chinos or fairly smart trousers, but not like suit trousers. This keeps it simple while still looking quite sharp and quite professional too. In terms of jewelry, I only really wear watches. And with a watch, it adds a big dynamic to your whole outfit and really makes a subtle statement. And with the watch that I wear in my day-to-day life, it's an Amara Watch. Now this was founded by my brother. and it's an amazing watch. Very slick, very professional, very clean, and it complements practically any outfit you'd ever wear. With the Amara Watch, it's actually very affordable too, considering this watch is actually very high quality, made in Germany. So this isn't just a drop shipping company or some random Chinese product. Made in Germany, high quality, and an outrageous price. So if you did want to check the watch out and support us, you can click on the first link in the description and you'll find it there. And coming on to the finale and the big question, girls. Now, Mom, you can stop watching this now. This is for the boys. Right, so this is a bit of a weird topic. However, just going to the gym and just building a good physique is never going to get you tons and tons of girls, right? So girls are naturally attracted to the confidence that building that physique brings you. So when you go to the gym, it's not just the muscles. You become more disciplined, you have healthier habits, and even things like your communication are going to improve. So of course, working on yourself, going to the gym, dressing better, these type of things are going to help to attract girls. However, the person that you become from putting yourself through this work, through this discipline, is inevitably a big deciding factor for not only other people respecting you and being attracted to you, but also for yourself and your self-respect, your self-love, your self-pride. Because these things are so important, and when you do feel better, you're confident in yourself, it's going to naturally radiate to other people, and they'll want to spend time with you, want to get to know you, and want to even be in a relationship with you potentially. Okay, cool. So I've covered the main areas of my Looksmaxxing transformation, but I think it's important to say how the internal areas are so important too. Because everyone on social media focuses on that new car, that new physique, that new girl, but the internal state is actually super important. So knowing how to respect yourself, putting in the work, putting in the discipline, and actually having that self-love and self-confidence can really help you to excel in so many different areas of life. So of course, still look to improve your externals, like your looks, your dress sense, your self-care, but look to build up the internals at the same time, as you need both to truly reach your potential. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, if you wanted to check out the Amara Watch, you can click on the first link in the description. Drop a like, drop a subscription, and I'll catch you in the next one.